It's untouchable right now.
Right now, yes, until we see what I would say a clear picture, and to me a clear picture is at least 2 or 3 years away. Hey, in 2 or 3 years, if the national health care takes the burden off counties and the state doesn't do anything to reroute something like that, then we can have a good public discussion on what to do with that, lower the tax rate a little bit every year and eat that fund balance up, whether we use that for capital improvements, how do we, how do we deal with that? That conversation in my mind is at least 2 to 3 years away.
The other part of the money not getting spent has been projected seems to be not only the population shift, but also itself. The county still doesn't have a contract with UTMB providing indigent care, right?
That's correct.
And the last conversation that we had as a group action about this is that there seems to be a shift, at least from the county's perspective, at how UTMB is handling indigent care. Can you talk about how that is working? Because there's that secondary and tertiary care that is being provided, not the same volume, but it's not being provided at UTMB.
That's correct. Go back to pre-I. Complacent, maybe take things for granted. We had too many eggs in UTMB's basket. And this UTMB deal has evolved really going back to 1998, TJ, when they implemented DAMP. And when I first got in office, we handed UTMB over a $2 million check every year. Y'all deal with it, just see who we want to see. 100% federal poverty, more, whatever. DAMP came in and it forced us to do some things that were probably painful but good. Started registering, started seeing who our clients were, started managing the environment, became more accountable for the money. There's no question we got our $2 million worth. I don't think that's an issue, but it just forced some discipline in the system. And that evolved, and we do a much better job of knowing who our clients are and registering people and the whole thing that follows the state law. We don't have a contract with UTMB. We had all of our eggs in their basket pre-Ike. Post-Ike, we were forced to find a new provider network for this population, and we have gone about doing that with the help of Steve Gowan and Curtis's group. We've got providers. Mainly Maintenance Center Hospital stepped up, Clear Lake Regional, St. John's Specialist in Houston. So we have a network that is much broader than what we had pre-Ike. I hope that never goes away. We need to continue to build that network where we have options other than UTMB. That's just good business. And so we're going to continue to develop that network over time. And we don't have a contract with UTMB right now. We operate under what we call Chapter 61 of the code, and Chapter 61 puts a cap on any one individual, a $30,000 cap in a given calendar year.
A cap on what the county has to pay
By any one individual. UTMB, being a teaching hospital, has another chapter that they prefer to operate under, and that says if both parties agree, you can go up on the cap. And our contention is if both parties don't agree, you default back to Chapter 61, which is a $30,000 cap. We have not agreed to go above that $30,000 limit.
UTMB wants to go to 60,000, or
yeah, I think that they want to go to 75, but I think 60 would be where they would be satisfied. And again, it's an issue of not just UTMB, but it's a precedent it sets. If we go to 60,000 or a higher cap at UTMB, I would suspect that St. John's and Clear Lake Regional and Mainland Center Hospital and every other provider is going to want that assurance that we'll go up with them. I don't see how you in good faith can do it for one without being consistent across the board on public policy there. So if the legislature changes that, and quite honestly, the $30,000 cap is a stale number. It has been a cap for many years, and certainly medical inflation has exploded past that. So fundamentally, I don't have a problem with the, in fact, our Conference of Urban Counties in the last legislature supported raising the cap to 60,000. But I'm not going to do it UTMB without doing it all, so we don't have a contract with them. If that answers your question or not.
Well, have the private hospitals asked, even suggested about raising that cap?
Oh, they bring it up. They like it raised.
They like it raised,
especially on you know, the little routine flu and stuff. It's the cancer, it's the heart attack, it's the diabetes, it's the big stuff that
oncology and cardio.
Yeah, that ripples from that. That you know, and you understand it. I mean, if we don't pay it, they're absorbing it. So it's a real issue.
To dovetail off of that, on the housing situation, obviously the city of Galveston is dealing with, you know, its plans on trying to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a lot of talk off the island about that instead of having a single concentration of public housing, that there be a county-wide initiative to deal with public housing assistance. You know, you have Galveston, you have Texas City with its program, which doesn't centralize housing so much as it does with vouchers for private. Is that something you think the county wants to get into at any point?
We had limited conversations with some of that group. We've not really looked into, I mean, our authority is in the unincorporated areas, not in these cities and municipal entities that may or may not want this or that. You know, I don't know, understand the theory about spreading it all out and integrating all this into all over the county. In theory, that sounds good. I think there'd have to be some infrastructure needs addressed, infrastructure being transportation, transit, facilities, you know, hospital, doctors, if you want to effectively do that. And we're trying to, I mean, we're not motivated by that particular reason, but that's why this transit district was created, was to look at